Life doesn't stop when the workday ends. On True HR Beyond the Office, Shannon Clark Johnston tackles topics that affect our lives in and out of the workplace, with conversations on mental health, reinvention, self-empowerment, and more. We share actionable insights to inspire meaningful growth. Join us for candid insights and guidance to help you build resilience, create balance, and thrive with confidence in all areas of your life.
Transitioning to assisted living is both a logistical and emotional challenge, one that many families are facing. With 53 million U.S. adults providing care to aging loved ones, the need for support during this life change has never been greater. Our guest today, Audrey Tesora, understands this firsthand. As the founder of Right Touch Organizing Services, she helps seniors and their families navigate the transition with organization, compassion, and clarity. With a 25-year background as a C-suite executive assistant, she blends practical solutions with emotional sensitivity to make the process smoother and more empowering for everyone involved. Welcome, Audrey.
Thank you, Shannon. Pleasure to be here.
It's so great to have you here because, I do love organizing, but organizing for seniors, I think, has its own issues, its own challenges, right? So, and I think it's such an important topic because forget about the number of people in the U.S. I know like a lot of people sort of around my age range have aging parents right now, and it can be a struggle to manage sort of your everyday life.
Yes.
And if they're, having issues or you have to get them together for a move, I would think it could be very overwhelming. I'm personally not there quite yet, but it feels like a deeply personal process to me. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so you help with that.
Yes, I do. Yes.
Talk a little bit about first, for those people that might not know what professional organizing is, if you could talk about that and then how that works for seniors and what you really do.
So professional organizing is when I would come in to a space and organize it and help you declutter, downsize, help you decide items to keep, what to donate, dispose of. When it comes to downsizing for a senior, so many times seniors, they've been living in their home for 20 to 40, 50 years.
Wow.
So they've accumulated a lot of things, especially the generation before us or two. They never threw anything away because they're children of the Depression. Right.
And and everything was on paper.
Everything was
right?
on paper,
Yeah.
and they didn't believe in throwing anything away. They saved everything. So everything to them is important, has a purpose, can be reused. Maybe they can reuse it one day. So when it's time for them to transition into an assisted living facility, they may be going from anywhere from 1,500 square feet house, a 3,000 square foot house to 600 square feet.
Right.
Sometimes maybe a little less, sometimes maybe a little more. So that is a significant downsize for them, right? And so they are not happy about it a lot of times, but they realize that this is the time for them to do that. The family, is concerned about what's been going on in the house because a lot of times if they're not living in the same state, they don't know how dangerous it's become for them to be in the house because when you're talking on the phone with someone, everything's fine, hunky-dory, their voices don't give anything away.
Right.
And then when they come and see the home, they see
they're shocked.
They're shocked.
I would think that's probably a lot of times when people might reach out to you is like, they didn't even know this was going on.
They had no idea. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
And you're right, because a lot of grown children don't necessarily live right down the street from their elderly
Not
parents.
Anymore.
Yeah.
Not anymore. No.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they don't
All
know
over
what's
the
going
country. In other countries, this country, they're spread out everywhere.
And the sort of parent-child dynamic is such that I think maybe the parent doesn't want to ask for help, even if they recognize they need it.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
And they're so used to being independent, so they don't want to give up that independence. And they don't realize how much better their quality of life will become when they do go into an assisted living facility.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's also, and I know we're not necessarily going to get into the details of assisted living facilities, but there's a spectrum of care too. So I think there could be, you tell me, like a fear that it's going to be this kind of 24/7 oversight of the person, where there really are places that it's much like living on your own, but you just have the convenience of having help close by.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. There's independent living where it's much like an apartment building, but there aren't that many services because you don't need them.
Yeah.
And then you move to assisted living where there are as many services as you need.
Okay.
Right.
Right. So they might not know what it even is.
That's right. They have
What are
no
you talking
idea.
about?
But the best thing that I find is the social aspect of it, right? Because a lot of times when I come into the senior's home, the blinds are closed, the lights are out. You know, they are alone most of the time. Because they can't get around anymore. Right.
That's true.
And then sometimes a lot of their friends have passed away, so and it's hard for them to go out and make new friends. So when you do go into an assisted living, you are surrounded by other people your age.
Right.
There are a lot of social activities involved, and it does get them out of their rooms.
That's so true. I
Yeah.
really wouldn't have thought about that. And again, I think, like, I know even for me, my son's a freshman in college, and so it's not like I'm going to go, oh my God, I'm so lonely now that you're gone. You're not going to say that to your child,
No, you're
even
not.
if that's how you
That's
feel.
right.
Right.
That's
So they're
right.
not going to be saying that on the phone. They're not going to maybe even realize how lonely they are.
They don't. No.
Yeah.
They don't. Yeah, because I've had clients who were very resistant to going, and then when they went and I followed up with the family, they go, "She's blossomed. She's
Oh, that's
just,
amazing.
yeah, she loves it. Yeah."
I love that. Well, so take me through the process. So you get a call. What's the most common kind of call you get, and from who or whom? And what is it like when you first kind of meet with that client and their family?
So I most likely I get the call from the children,
Okay.
and say that they're pulling their hair out of their head, that they don't know what to do. They're overwhelmed by the whole process. We don't live in the state, but we'll be visiting. Can you come and meet with us, right? And then mom and dad are sometimes very reluctant, so then they have to ease them into me coming over. And I said, listen, you can always tell them we're just having a conversation. This is just a conversation. Well, they'll know that, they know that they have to do this thing, but they're not being forced tomorrow to do this. So let me come in, let me have a conversation, let me explain to them what happens, what the process is, and then we make everybody feel more at ease.
Okay.
Right?
And they can feel a little more in control, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, also, I am of the generation that I know their generation, right? So I know all their cultural icons. I know the movie stars. I know the neighborhoods. A lot of time they're from the same place I'm from. So we get to create a rapport between us, which makes them feel comfortable. And that's the most important thing with these seniors, is that they feel comfortable with me and that they trust me.
I like that.
Because there's not a lot of trust because people try to take advantage of them. And they're not sure anymore of, they're confused. Life is so fast. A lot of them don't have the internet. They don't use the computer. Some do, but a lot don't. They'll use it for very basic things like the telephone.
Yeah.
So it's their comfort level. And we do everything to make them comfortable, and they come first.
Yeah.
It's the family may see things one way, but my code of ethics is they're the client. I have to make them happy.
Oh, that's really important. That's
Yes.
interesting.
Yeah.
So even if you get the call, and even if really the children are paying you, you have to view that senior as the client.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yes, and so when we are downsizing them, I ask them to go on a treasure hunt first for the things that they absolutely want to bring with them to this new space that is significantly less, right? And then, I also do the space planning, right? So that we make sure we can bring as many things as they want into the space. Sometimes it's not realistic. And, that's another conversation we just have to let go. But and believe me, you'd be amazed at what we can bring with us. And, I do also do the space planning and the organizing on the other end. So we do fit everything in. I'll hang the pictures. We'll set them all up. We do. So I call myself the project manager.
Yeah.
We do everything from A to Z.
It's more than just organizing.
Oh, it is.
So much more.
Yes. No, and I love that because I love the variety of it, right? So, I can get the realtor, I can get the house stage because I am a member of the real estate Stagers Association.
Oh, okay.
I can get it cleaned out. I can get them packed up. I can get them moved. I can get them unpacked. So I offer all of those services. I partner with estate sale companies, so we can help them dispose of their items that way. We can get their stuff donated. The bigger items donated for a fee because a truck has to come and bring it to them.
Right.
But so once that all gets sets in place, it becomes a little easier. So also, I need to spend time with the client themselves because they want to see exactly what's going out of the house. And that can take months, literally, because they don't have a lot of stamina. They get decision fatigue. They'll get agitated. They'll get confused. They'll get tired. I make sure they drink water, because a lot of seniors, they forget to hydrate, right? So I'm always asking them how you feel, have a seat. We bring everything to them, do you, and it's literally saying, do you want this? Do you not want this?
Like one by one.
I've done that one, and that's a lot of patience.
That is a lot of patience.
But it's okay because they tell you their stories. There's a story with everything, and it's cathartic for them, and it helps them to let go.
What's logistically, at what point would someone call you? Because should they know where they're going? I know you said sometimes you just come in and meet with them, but what makes the most sense? Is it, okay, we've got it all figured out, they're going to go to ABC, assisted living, so you can work with that? Or is it sometimes more of just exploratory and let's get the house ready and get them sort of into this process?
So it's both.
Okay.
It's both, because some people have the need that they do need to go, but they need to sell the house in order to go into an assisted living. And the other thing is, we're the planners, we want to start this process because we do want to get the house sold. We don't need to sell the house, but we want to start the process, and we're also going to be looking at assisted living facilities.
Got it.
So I work closely with other senior care professionals, and I can help them navigate that process of looking at certain facilities that are suitable for them and that are affordable. And
I see. So you really get involved with every aspect of it.
Yeah. And I have resources, so that's...
I was going to say,
I'm a resource manager, right? That's what I call myself. And that's great, because they do not want to have to make 15 phone calls to 15 different people. I tell them, you tell me what you need, and I'll get it done.
Yeah, well, the stamina issue is key, right? They're not going to be involved in that.
No.
Yeah, and you also, I would imagine, you have a lot of connections, so you could probably even tell the family for potentially what would work for this particular client.
That's right.
In terms of the actual home. Okay.
That's right. Yes.
Or living space.
Yeah.
Do you ever work with couples? Are they usually single?
A lot more single than couples, but yes, I have worked with a lot of couples also.
And is that usually they call you in themselves, or is it still the family?
It's mostly the family.
It's mostly the family.
Yeah, it's mostly the family that does that.
So it's pretty rare for the senior to call you themselves.
I've had a few, but they've been on their own already.
I see.
That so they could be single professionals who have never married, or they could be widows who are now coming and have not had children.
I see.
Come to the realization that now I want to let go of this house, and they are so happy when they don't. I said, you're going on a extended vacation. You're going to have your meals cooked for you. Your place is going to be clean for you, so I
like that.
Yeah, and it's it's a new chapter in your life, right? Because life is all about transitions anyway. Nothing ever stays the same.
It's true, and life transitions can be
really difficult.
Yeah.
But you try to accept it with as much grace as you can, right? So I hope when my time comes, I can accept it with as much grace as I can, because I know what it's going to be like. I've seen it before, and it's inevitable.
Yeah.
It's inevitable, but you try to keep yourself as healthy as you can. And, and enjoy every day. And that's, a lot of seniors are very happy too, because they do enjoy every day.
Yeah.
It is a gift, especially when you're in your 90s.
Yeah, for sure.
And I've had 100 clients who are
100.
Just
what is the average age that they contact you? I say 70s.
I would say 70s and up. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, 70s and up. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, you mentioned something too that I think is really interesting, because you don't think through all this. At least I didn't. Where you've got the children who don't necessarily live near the parents, and then you would have potentially multiple children who either don't live or do live near each other or the parents, And then I would think you have a lot of opinions, right?
Absolutely.
So are you like
Absolutely.
a negotiating queen here with all of this? How do you sift through that?
Yeah, it's just it's listening to everybody, what they have to say, and basically what happens is that as they're all talking, it's like it's a brainstorming kind of thing, and then they kind of work it out. Like, I'm not there to push one agenda over another. I'm just there to kind of guide them and say, well, if you do this, this may happen. So maybe that's not. And then they'll listen to that, and then they'll discuss that, and then they come to some sort of consensus.
You're just sort of there to be
a facilitator, probably. Yeah, I think so. And because every sibling is different. Their personalities are all different. One may want to keep everything that their mother or father had. Yeah. Another may not want to keep the family furniture from 70 years ago or whatever it is. So, and then let them agree or not agree on that. But, and then I'll have to say, well, we got to get them into a plan. Yeah. How to get them into a timeline on how to navigate all these things. Yeah. But but it does work.
Yeah, it's a lot of patience.
Yeah, and it's it's ups and downs, and then you build in delays, and you build in things happen, and so
so really, like, the sooner the better for people to call you when they sense something might be a little bit
if they can, off. Sure, it's listen, we're planners, right?
Right,
so
I know.
I'm always it's. The sooner the better, fine. But, I've had emergencies, where we've had to move them in a week or a day.
And why does that happen? Is it because they've had like an
accident? Okay. Or, yes, they've gotten, and now they've got to go.
They've got to go. They have no choice.
They have no choice now, yes.
So that's got to be a little bit of a different experience for you.
Yes, and then I've had, some of my clients who are in their 80s who think they can pack everything. A lot of them always think they can do this themselves. And then when it gets down to the wire, they're like, uh-oh, and then I get the call. Like, come in, and we got to pack this stuff up, and it's all hands on deck.
Yeah.
And, get it done.
You said something about... it's a process. It takes a while because you have to go through things one by one often, and that they want to tell you stories. Yeah. Tell me a little bit about that.
Oh boy, I've heard so many interesting stories.
You should write a book.
Yeah. I mean, everybody has a story, from the types of things that they've made. Like, they've shown me things that they've created, which is absolutely amazing. From I had a famous artist who was my client, who founded a museum.
Wow.
Yes, I've had founded an ensemble. Chinese ensemble.
Wow.
Lovely people. I've had people who've worked for Bell Labs, engineers, lots of engineers here that
where we are today.
Yes, have become my clients. Everybody's had in the military, just all kinds of things. I mean,
you're sort of like I don't know, you're this person. I know there's a name for it, but you're sort of the interpreter of their stories, or the witness to their stories.
Witness to their stories.
And meeting them later in life. And
that's right, yes.
Wow.
And it's sad because in our society, it's only what you're doing for me today, right? It's like, this gentleman here invented this thing, and now he's 85 or 90, and everyone's forgotten about him.
Right.
And that's, and so, I want to give them the respect and dignity they deserve, right? Because they've added so much to this planet. In this life.
That's so true.
And they've had so much rich lives.
Mm-hmm. How's it changed you? Because I would think you're just such a witness to so much, like the circle of life in a way, right?
It's made me happier, actually. Yeah. Even though I see people like in their declining years, you would say, this is the last period of their life, right? But it's made me much more happy, much more appreciative of the present, of how being more intentional of how I want to spend my time, and with who, and with what I want to do, and thinking about I'm not living forever.
Yeah. Well, you probably hear as many great stories, like you just mentioned. You maybe hear some sad ones and regrets and things like that too.
Yeah. So it's that's people have that. I mean, but I say. You try not to have any regrets, or choose your regrets wisely.
But it's a reminder, like you say, for yourself, and to how you might want to live your life, which a lot of times we learn when we see things we don't want, or things that are negative, unfortunately.
Yes,
but
yes.
you've really seen a lot. That's
and
very rewarding, I would think.
It is rewarding, and especially when you see the attitudes, the good attitudes. I've seen some poor attitudes, they're grouchy, grumpy, but I've seen very good attitudes, and people who maybe can't walk anymore, or people who are dealing with physical problems every day that are painful. And they still have a good attitude. So that's inspiring.
Yeah, for
sure. They are inspirations.
And
absolutely.
Then you said earlier, too, when you see this people who maybe resisted you, and then at the end, and these are huge projects, really, that you're undertaking, they are probably, according to themselves or their family or both, they're happier.
Oh, they're happier and they're grateful. And that's one of the things that I love so much, because it makes me feel so good, is that they're grateful and they're thankful for my help and the help that we give them.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't have done this without them, and we've made it just that much easier for them to transition over from this huge house or this into where they're going now.
It makes me like a little bit emotional in the sense of like it's just I don't know, you're like this. It's very good work that you're doing, and you're helping people be seen for their lives that they've lived, and you're doing it with like care, and it really I think. Unfortunately, in our society, older people are, as you said before, forgotten, or they're just not seen for who they were in this life.
That's right.
It gets me a little emotional.
It is. It is. Yeah. But what is nice though is that I see a lot of the families support them.
Yeah.
And I love how they honor their parents.
Yeah.
And some of them are so like, anything they could do to make them comfortable, which is really, that's so cute.
It's really sweet. It really is. Do you have like one success story that stands out?
They're all kind of success stories. Yeah, they are. Because once it's done, they are very happy.
Yeah.
They
I don't
are,
think I've ever cried on this podcast.
I know. It's kind of touching. Me too.
You got me all choked up here. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
It's just really sweet. Yeah. And what a wonderful gift that you're giving to them.
They give me a gift, too. Yeah.
They really do. Yeah. I mean, it's just wonderful work. So I want to give the audience, if you could, a couple of tips. If they're either on the precipice of this or they're in it, because I know we said the average age is 70s, so we're talking the children are probably in their 40s, 50s, right? So what should they be thinking about? What should they be doing?
So, maybe start researching and educating yourself about how this whole, because it's a whole new world, right? Because besides downsizing and finding somewhere else to live, there's all the paperwork that needs to be done. So there are people called senior care advisors who will help you with the process of paperwork to get into these places.
To get somewhere,
Yeah, to get somewhere, because there is a lot of paperwork involved. You want to, if budgets is a problem, there are people that can help you with that. You want to get into the right place. There are veteran care services. If you or your spouse were in the Army, there's benefits that you may be entitled to that you don't know about. So there's lots of ways to navigate this. And then, when people come to me, if they don't know that, I will help them with that. There's also, if they want to age in place, there are people who, and I can help people age in place, as well as companies who install the equipment you need.
Not leave their house. They're
not
leave,
but
they
there are
need
people,
additional help.
Additional help. Like maybe they'll have a live-in come in, or they'll have an aide because they're not ready for assisted living, right? So I help with that process also of making the home safe for them. So that they don't have any trip hazards. Lighting's important, being able to reach things, safely, and getting their medications in one place, and having a schedule, and all of that. So there is a lot involved, right? There's all different stages of what people need at certain times.
Yeah.
Of 70s, 80s, and 90s are totally different from one another. So there's all different things. You may start out in assisted living or independent living, transition to assisted, go into memory care.
Right. So when should people start having these conversations? Because I think it just reminds me of, you don't want to talk about when people are going to be.
Yeah, I mean, maybe when the health, listen, it would be nice to have it as a normal conversation when you're healthy, but if the health starts to deteriorate, then they should start to think about what the next step is going to be. And it would be nice if when children bring it up, it's like, oh, you're just trying to get rid of me.
100%.
Yes. So they're very resistant when the children bring it up. So,
But you're right. Gosh, you got me. I'm calling my mother after this because, she's in Florida, right? Like a lot of people from the Northeast.
Yeah.
And at one point she was talking about she would stay down there, and I'm thinking, well, why would you go into assisted living? So my point is just that where are you go? I mean, even that basic question
That's right.
we haven't really talked about.
Yes.
Are you coming back up here? Are you staying
That's
down there?
right.
Because
That's
my brother and I are here, and so I think you're right to have the conversation maybe when it's not in a terrible place.
Right, that's right. And a lot of my clients do go closer to their children, which is very nice.
Yeah, because I
Yes,
mean, if you're going to be in a facility,
away, yes, yeah.
Okay, and I'm going to tell her you said that.
Yeah. Okay.
Call Audrey. No, this has been great. It's such a topic that I think we don't talk about enough, and it's really looms large in your life if it's going on in your life, right?
That's right.
So thank you so much. But if people want to get in touch with you, how can they do that?
They can reach me at www.righttouchorganizing.com and Audrey at righttouchorganizing. Righttouchorganizing.com. Yes.
Love it. Thank you so much for
You're
this.
welcome.
It's a really, really important conversation.
Thank you.
I
My
appreciate
pleasure.
it. Thank you for coming on.
You're welcome.
We are out, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in to True HR Beyond the Office. We hope today's episode inspired new ways for you to find fulfillment and purpose in your personal and professional life. If you found value in our conversation, let's keep it going. Follow us on social media and visit us at ShannonClarkJohnston.com to explore free tools, resources, and more about our speaking, coaching, and consulting services.